Welcome to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. This is Miss Charline, and today we're going to have in our studio Miss Brittney Castro, and we're talking about how to manage our money. And that's a big subject. We talk about it from everything from managing our paycheck to managing our financial portfolio to managing our lives to covers a lot when you're talking about managing your money. If you don't manage your money right, what happens?
You go down.
Definitely in flames, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to introduce my guest in the studio today. My co-host, which is Nathan Finch.
Hi.
Yes, and Elizabeth Ferris. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
So, and we're talking about finances today. So it's still in January. Everyone has probably written their goals down.
Yeah.
Or at
Yes,
least
I have.
Yeah, and so we've either broken our promises to ourselves already, or we're feeling good about being on course. So I'm going to start with me. I did make some financial goals for 2016, and I think that right now I'm on course. We're only 3 weeks in, though. So, what about you? How are you doing with your budgeting so far? And
I'm
managing
doing
your
okay.
money.
How am I managing my money? I did set some financial goals for myself,
Yes.
and I have already failed some of them. Not failed, but messed up on some of them.
See?
But I have not given them up.
No goal, no failure.
Exactly. I think I'm actually doing a good job. I'm doing better than I usually do. You both know how I am. Once it's like there's pressure to do it, I'm like, I don't have to do that.
Right.
So,
it goes in the opposite direction.
Exactly. I go in the opposite direction. So I'm in that sense, I'm on course because I've already had my little attitude hissy fit, and I really am. I'm staying committed to my financial goals, and I'm doing pretty good actually.
Well,
That's
can I
good.
just say on a side
Yes.
note, the holidays were they blessed me this holiday season
Yes.
where I work. And because of all the little tidbits I'd learned in the past 2015, that although I don't have a separate savings account, my debit account is like, there's a nice chunk of change in there.
Very good.
And all my bills are paid up to March.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Wow, that's really good.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
So there you go.
Well, then
including my car payment.
You may not have written them down, but you've been following some type of discipline.
I want to be more structured. I really honestly do. But I have tried to practice the take one back rule, like when you're going shopping
Yes.
and little things here and there. And every time I get paid, I try to pay all my bills at that time. So then whatever's left over, it has slowly just kept building. And I keep having all my bills paid where I'm like, well, I guess I'll just pay the next bill. And it's nice. It feels good.
That's good.
That's great, and it's interesting. Well, we've talked about this before too. But first of all, you're doing it step by step, which is the way to do it. You don't just change it all overnight. You're not just a financial guru.
That's right.
Overnight. And it does put too much pressure when it's like I have to have my separate savings accounts that are allotted to this and that. It's so much to do the first week of January.
Right.
So I think she's doing a little better than I am.
Yeah, and I think that misnomer of starting everything in January is just that, because you really, to get on course for January, you would have to start in December.
Yeah.
And most people
Yeah.
She's happy we're agreeing with her. You got that? Yeah. So, most people don't start in December. They are busy with holidays and family and traveling and cooking and eating and gifts and all that. And so most people don't start in December. They actually start January 2nd, right? Planning. And so it does add that layer of pressure.
Yeah.
To get it all down and then start doing it. So Elizabeth over there is starting to feel real good about herself. She didn't write anything down, but she's at least following. Implementing the disciplines that we talked about last year. So that's really good.
Yes, because it's interesting that you say getting ready in December for January, because I didn't do any writing down, which I really do need to do that, because I do believe in vision boards and writing things down helps. But
Spreadsheets.
I knew that my family was coming in town to visit me here in California, and then I knew I was going back to visit my family in the Midwest. So
Right.
I knew I needed to have my finances taken care of, because I didn't want to come back to be stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't come back to be stressed, because I made sure all my January bills were paid. But because the holidays were so good, I started paying into February, and then I'm not. Does that make sense? So I started planning in December without realizing. I didn't know what I was doing while I was doing. I just knew. I think based off everything I've heard subconsciously, it just started seeping into my brain finally.
That's good.
So
that's encouraging. That those who listen to the show, it will eventually seep into their brain. Is the way Elizabeth put it, of the things that you should do. Seepage. Yes.
Seepage.
No.
Bleedage. It bleeds into your brain.
That's good.
I've turned down, the occasional cup of coffee. My aunt gave me a gift card while I was there, so I didn't spend my Starbucks money that you gave me.
Yes.
Charline knows I like Starbucks.
Yes, and I told her, why don't you start making your own coffee and saving $5 a day? It'll come to about $1,800 a year. And you see Nathan is doing it. Nathan went right out and got his cup and his Starbucks coffee. What kind of well, I don't want to know because they're not paying us.
Best part of waking up is Nathan's coffee in his
Yes,
cup.
definitely, because we're not
I wasn't
promoting
going
anyone
to.
who doesn't pay us, right? So, but I am glad that we are in the first month of the new year, and we're at least adhering to some of the things that we put in motion last year. So that's
Definitely,
good.
I think repetition is crucial. That phrase sounded really clunky, but repetition is crucial. I think I have been keeping track, and I think I've purchased 2 Starbucks in the last 2 months.
Wow.
Which is big
Congratulations.
for me.
That's really good.
Because it used to
was
be
daily.
5 a week.
Yes.
At least.
I've gone down significantly. I think a little bit more than you, but
Oh.
in the
okay.
one time I went to Starbucks and it was New Year's Day or Christmas Day, and I was in my work uniform, and the other person was like, "Sorry, kid."
Oh, you mean you've purchased a few more than me?
I have, yeah.
The way you worded it, I thought you were like, I've decreased my intake a little bit more than you.
And
then
his
you just kept going.
his competitive side came out, and his one eyebrow raised. I saw that, and he was like, "Really,
It's like,
really?
the
I'll do
one-up
better
here.
next time." Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I think I've decreased my coffee intake a little bit more than you. So
I don't even drink coffee anymore, so I drink water.
I drink negative coffee. So
I drink water that was. I drink negative coffee.
okay. Anyway, sorry.
No, and then somebody gave me a free coffee on a holiday
That's very
at
nice.
Starbucks.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was gonna give in to my guilty pleasure, which I did, and then he was like, "It's on the house,"
Very
and I was like,
nice.
"Thanks," and then he was like, "You're welcome," and then I was like,
Elizabeth,
very
you're going
interesting
on
story.
and on. I know. No, it's not.
"It was
The
riveting."
point is, it's
on
not
my
riveting.
seat.
No, it's not. The point is that in January, as we're making our goals and trying to manage our money, that we should always just keep in mind that it's an ongoing process. That it's not whether you do it all right. It's that you're consciously thinking about it, so that you do more right than you do wrong, until eventually you get to where you want to be, which is saving and spending on things that are necessary, and then the money that you were wasting, you can spend on other things that might bring you even more pleasure, right?
And just to not to beat a dead horse, but just to expound on this point, I think that again, listening to it nonstop
Yes.
has made it to where it's like you say it all the time, it needs to be a lifestyle,
Exactly.
and not just like a set of rules for yourself.
Yeah, or an exercise that you
natural
do.
and organic, but but it's it becomes a lifestyle.
That's right.
And it's cool to see that just by association, you've just been hearing it. It didn't even take you writing everything down and making a plan out. You just started doing it.
Exactly.
And I know that it works because I've done it with other things. I've been listening to podcasts on managing stress and that sort of thing, and I notice myself now. I naturally will implement certain techniques to calm myself down
Right.
whenever I'm stressed out, and
Yeah.
it doesn't even really take me thinking about it. I just do it.
It just do it, right? Yeah.
One thing that's exciting also is the momentum you build once you start saving. I'm finally in that spot where now it's not even like, oh, I don't want to buy that, or I want to buy that, but I'm going to resist. It's I'm like, how can I live my life spending less? Because I want to see the next time every paycheck that rolls in, I want to save as much of it as possible.
Right.
I remember a while ago when we had Ari Gold on. She mentioned that how like when you do start saving, it almost becomes like a game. Like how much can I? You get that momentum. So
Yeah, it goes in the opposite direction. It's not so much, oh my, I have to save this money. It goes to, let's see how much I can save.
Yeah.
And it becomes a positive instead of that negative. And I think another thing that she said that helps us is that, you know, when you set up that savings account, name it something. Give it a name that you like, you know, like this is my vacation or, you know, trip to Bali money or whatever you want to do or where you want to go, you know, you can start doing that, right? And saving for that in that account. So for me, I think that as long as the behavior manifests itself, sure, writing it down is important, but it's not as important as doing it.
yes,
Just do it, right?
yes,
Nike.
Yes.
that is very true.
Yeah. So Elizabeth, you've been given a reprieve.
Oh.
So
You don't have to bring in spreadsheets next week.
I imagine I go
Exactly.
downhill from here next week. I'm like, yeah, my savings all gone. Just kidding.
Just went out and blew it all because I was having a good time.
I got a reprieve and went on a shopping spree.
Yeah. So what about shopping sprees? When are they good and when are they bad?
They're bad when you're broke.
They're very
Yeah.
bad when you're broke.
But what
I'm just gonna do it.
after a holiday? Yeah,
That's when they're good.
I feel like it. Yeah, that's usually when the sales are
Well, I
or
think
like seasonal changes.
But are you buying because it's on sale or are you buying it because you either need it or actually want it? Why
I
are
don't
you
know.
buying
Shopping
it?
spree to me, I just like visually imagine just like blowing a bunch of money. Is it ever a good thing?
the way that I view it personally,
Like, maybe you
is
could save up for your
some people
shopping
it's
spree?
a vacation. For some people it's I don't know,
A night out.
skydiving. I want to skydive. So for some people it's a night out. For some people it's whatever, you enjoy yourself. If you've set that money aside,
That's what. Yeah,
and
save up for a
budgeted
shopping
it,
spree. Yeah,
I'm gonna go on a shopping spree. I specifically saved up $500 to do this.
yeah.
So that
Right.
would be when it would be a good time
That's
to go on
when
a
it's a
shopping
good
spree.
time. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, not necessarily because it's right after a holiday or, you know, because that's kind of manipulated. Don't you think?
Yeah,
it's
manipulative.
Yes, very manipulative. That's the word I was trying to say. And where with the media, you know, and with advertising, so they know that, you know, you're looking forward to those after the holiday sales. And a lot of times you buy things that you wouldn't necessarily buy because it's on sale. So we should be kind of careful of that.
And they totally play that game. Like they play that game because there's been times where I've gone
Yes.
to after like post holiday sales and I'm like, this is not a sale. Like in certain stores where it's like it's not that big of a markdown if it's a markdown at all. Like they totally bump up the price
So
to
they
then mark it back down to its normal price.
Right.
And not everywhere does that, but I've totally witnessed that before where I'm like, this is not a sale. This is just normal.
Right. So you have to be careful.